Yeah, I don't know what this is about here. This move was like what I was fearing, but knight d5, knight fd5 with the idea of f6, and I think black is okay. So we got to kick the knight. The knight on e5 is the problem here, more or less. Our main line is like bishop takes d5, knight takes d5, rook takes d5, pawn takes d5, knight b6, bishop e6, knight takes a8, rook takes e8 with an equal position, more or less. Although that's a rough assessment, and I don't know, maybe he could even have some slight disadvantage because I have the bishop pair and his a5 pawn's a little bit weak. This guy could be using a computer. I wouldn't put it past him. Based on the way he's played so far, it looks kind of flawless. Based on his low rating, it makes me a little nervous. But why is his rating low? You know, that if he was using a computer. So I don't know. I don't want to lose to a 1600. Getting paranoid. Probably he's not cheating. But I think the plays seem pretty good. Knight a4 I'm not sure about. I mean, at the same time, it was sort of my main line. So, I don't know. Knight, bishop takes d5, I guess, right here. Knight takes d5. That much is probably sure. But then I don't know what else to suggest besides... He could play knight b6. That's an interesting move. He takes twice and plays... Okay. Actually, now I'm freaking out a little bit. I may have to change my plans. This move... Okay, now he's definitely not a computer. After that. I'm not paranoid anymore. I was very concerned about bishop takes d5. Because it just occurred to me that after knight takes d5, he might have something like knight c4. But it doesn't work because his bishop's hanging, okay? I don't know. I'm going to do f6, and I got to get this knight off of e5. This guy's playing really tough for 1600. It is standard, but I mean, I've seen a lot of really weak players rated 1900 plus, and this guy's played almost perfect. I'll leave it to the Smith-Morra experts to decide how well this guy's played. But on the surface, it looks really right, you know, for the most part. If I made one slip, I would have already lost, you know. Although here, it looks like he's kind of lost the initiative. Bishop takes d5 now. Interesting intermezzo. With the idea of, yes, you guessed it, knight c4. So I have to be really careful here. Pawn takes allows knight b6, which basically loses the exchange for me, I think. Knight takes allows knight c4. Maybe worse. Now he's got to do like knight c4. And after knight c4, it's like I might have rook d8, just hanging on. Knight takes knight c4. Bishop d7, excuse me. Bishop d7. Knight b6. It's like I'm getting scared. Pawn takes, knight b6. Looks computery. Knight takes b6. Knight takes d5. Knight c4. Bishop d7. Let's see what happens. I mean, I don't think that this idea is like really like the typical 1600, you know, maneuvering knight c4, knight b6. If he's 1200 in 5-minute chess, then it's definitely fishy. Now I'll do like rook takes d5 and rook takes d5, pawn takes d5, knight b6, rook d8, bishop c7 or something. Takes d7, rook takes. It might equal out. Rook d8 is my idea now. I'm barely hanging on. Barely. Hopefully I can hold. I could be playing guy's phone. Like, I was at a poker game the other day, and one of my friends asked me to play his smartphone. And honestly, folks, you know, even the smartphone made a draw against me, and it wasn't that easy. So, if you're not really that focused, um, I would lose. If I'm not focused, I'll even lose to a smartphone. So, maybe the Magnus app, the one that's popular. Okay, now rook e1. Looks like he moved in a different direction with this move. Trying to win a piece there. Maybe I should take on d7. But I think that's a mistake. So I got to be very careful here. He has all sorts of little tactical tricks. Really, if I hold this draw, I'm going to feel very, very proud of myself. Okay. Looks like, I hate to say it, but it looks like I'm out of the woods now. I do think his play would be sort of consistent for a smartphone level computer. Like a non-professional chess computer. The play is just, I don't know, it's a little too unhuman-like for this level of rated player. It could be a human, but this is really the first game I've suspected someone of slightly suspicious circumstances out of all the streams I've done. It's funny, I'm not even losing, but I don't know. It looked like he had very good comp there. Maybe he had something better. He looks like he could have won a pawn back, so I don't know. Maybe I'm diffusing my own argument. I mean, it seems like the computer would have gone for pawn material, like material. Okay, now it's definitely not a computer or not a computer anymore because it's falling apart. Okay, bishop f2. I better not, like, start losing my concentration here because he could fork something. Knight takes b6. Time is an issue. Looks like. We should be winning position for black now. Let's trade some pieces and bring the king to the center. This is right about where I'll probably hang something. Rather not trade the bishop pair here. Obviously, I guess that should go without saying. Bishop pair looks really good. He hasn't been playing fast, but he's like sort of stayed ahead on the clock. But we've got to move instantly now. But until now, it was really treacherous. This is the first moment in the game where we've actually been able to move quickly. The last couple moves. I want to thank everyone for joining the stream. No matter how this turns out, I appreciate you joining me here. Once again, we're going to try to avoid exchanges of minor pieces, bishops in particular. His king is tied up very nasty here. You know, he just cannot get any counterplay with that king cornered that way. bishop e4, king c7, king c6, and try to eat the queenside pawns. Maybe he should play knight a4 now. We're going to target the pawn on b4. I don't know, though maybe I should pay attention to the king side a little bit. These are not the best moves I've played here, but I'm just sort of panicking. I could win a pawn there. I don't really want to go in obstacle or bishop territory. He still has dangerous counterplay on the queen side, on the king side. Sorry, with king up, king to g7 here. But probably f4, f3 is a little too much for him to. Between my f pawn and my a pawn, I'm thinking I'm probably winning. So I don't know. I'm not gonna like flat out accuse this guy of being a computer. I'm just saying that. Yeah, it could be like he was using his smartphone for part of the game. It's hard to say. Maybe he just happened to play really well. But anyway, it looks like he was fine until the end when he started like falling apart. He could have won his pawn back at the very least, I'm sure. Anyway, thanks for joining me here for the stream live on Twitch. This is International Master William Paschall, and we will be back tomorrow, same time, 10 a.m. Central European Time. Please check out my YouTube videos. The channel is up. It's pretty new. We don't have that much stuff up, but we will have more and more sort of original content. Videos of Grandmaster games and opening analysis and other stuff. It's called Video Chess Training. Check it out on YouTube. And I'd like to thank everybody who joined me here for spending your time with me. Take care, and see you all later. Bye-bye.